5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Truth, Beer, and Podsequences, the podcast where we recap Cincinnati craft beer podcasts with our own version of the truth. We hope that there aren't too many consequences from the hosts of the other podcasts for us taking our own, a little spin on things, for us poking a bit of fun on what we interpret to be going on behind the mic. My name is Julia. I like to write funny posts and parodies about Cincinnati craft beer on the Facebook, and I am joined by my favorite co-host of all time.
Well, thank you, Julia. Yes, I am Marco, and I am a brewer locally here in the Cincinnati area. Thank you all for coming aboard and listening. If this is your first time, welcome. If this is not your first time, welcome back. I just want to take a moment also to thank our podcast host, BC's Bottle Lodge Montgomery. They just got off, was it 2 weeks ago, from a beer festival that they had here called Flavortown. So the board is still just
Packed with goodness.
Huge board. Big board. Also, big shout out to Cintas for keeping this place smelling fantastic. I know no place in Cincinnati is like this, but I'm sure as in your travels, you've gone somewhere, you walked in and like, did they kill a skunk in here? They did not do that. This is not the way that it is here at BC's Bottle Lodge Montgomery. It smells fantastic. Today, it's a very special day.
Yes. Normally we're not sponsored, but today we are super not sponsored. You may have heard an additional voice in the background there as Marco was talking about our favorite Cintas guy. We are joined today by the Gnarly Gnome.
I'm the Cintas guy.
Oh, my God.
Surprise.
Did not know that about you.
Worlds collide. But no, you should all know him by now for Cincy Brewcast, for Pros, for The Weekly Pint, for his vlogs, for Gnome Creative, which is where he likes to combine everything audio, video, imagery into the amazing productions that he produces. And he also helps other local podcasts, other local companies, like Chef Tony with what he's doing. So thank you very much for not bringing us any beers today, but thank you for joining us to drink some beers and talk some podcasts.
Anytime. I'm always happy to not bring beers and talk about other people's podcasts.
Excellent.
Well, welcome. And so, yeah, no good beer podcast should start without beers. And so, let's see, Julia, what are you drinking?
Well, I asked Brian, who is the B&BC's, producer Brian, if I could be a basic bitch and have a pumpkin spice latte milkshake IPA from Masthead, which is a 7.5% IPA, and he said no, it is not basic. Yes, you can have one, and it's really, really good. It's actually probably one of the best pumpkin beers that I've had this season so far.
That's fantastic. Maybe Chris and Josh and Brian and Beth should get over here and try some of that.
Yeah, maybe they should.
Since they're all just giant pumpkin beer lovers.
For sure.
Isn't everybody a pumpkin beer lover deep down somewhere inside their soul?
I think that's as true as you being a seltzer fan.
That's probably true.
Somewhere deep down,
yeah.
Yes, you are correct on that.
Right in the spot in your heart for the Belgians.
That's heartburn.
I've come around a lot more on Belgians than I was at one time.
You're not into hazies that much either, but what do you have?
So I was curious to try it. This is Streetside's triple dry hopped Brah. This was one of their anniversary beers, and then I guess it was probably here for Flavortown too. So
yeah,
since it was on, I had to get it.
Well, there you go.
You said the board was bigger. It looks the same size as it's always been. Just lots of great beer.
Yeah, it's bursting. It's like a can of biscuits. Each one of these TVs.
Is that what's leaking out of the side of that one over there?
Like a big old, 3 big cans of biscuits. So
I haven't taken a sip of it yet, though.
Oh, please do.
Yes.
I will tell you what I'm drinking while you do that, and then you can tell us the nuances of the triple dry hop Brah. I'm having lunch from Maine Brewing Company. It is 7% and absolutely fantastic. It's been my lunch on more than one occasion.
Nice.
It tastes hoppy, guys. It's very hoppy, like triply hoppy.
Wow. So, like 2 times the hops from a regular hopped beer.
I don't know what a regular hopped beer is anymore, but yes, it's
Well,
way more
well,
hoppy.
Well,
times.
let's say
Is
a
it
regular.
one-
Let's say a regular hop beer is just like a Subra,
Okay.
and if a very very Subra is that very very hoppy or hoppy. I don't know.
Triply hoppy.
Triply hoppy.
It's
We'll go with it.
Bussing. Triple.
All cap, no cap.
Triple.
I don't know. I don't understand the cap
it a-
part. I'll be honest, but
Yeah.
it's
Is
at least one bussing from you though.
Is it a city bus? Is it a school bus, or is it like a shortened version of busting or something?
It's
Right.
It's
Biscuits busting.
It's a special.
Biscuits are busting out of this beer.
There we go.
Biscuits of hops.
I've never heard a description more interesting
Yeah.
than that. But
I really want
like
to try it next to just regular Subra because I haven't had Subra in so long that I really can't compare it to what it is normally tasting like. But it's delicious. It's fruity. It's soft. It's awesome.
Nice. Well, if anyone from Streetside is watching on the live stream for the Platinum tier Patreon, run some over real fast. We'd love to do a comparison.
Yeah, sounds
Absolutely.
great.
Cool. Well, should we get into some podcasts?
Yeah, Julia, what did you listen to last week?
Pretty much all the things. How about you?
I did as well. Pretty much all the things. I bet a lot of what we listen to probably overlaps.
Most likely.
Why don't we cut it down for the listeners? I mean, they don't need to listen to everything to understand what this show is about. By the way, this is the #1 podcast about Cincinnati craft beer podcasts in the Cincinnati area. #1.
Definitely.
Yeah, hands
Definitely.
down. Yeah. I mean, everyone that I know listens to it. I mean, I know at least 3 people. They all listen.
Yeah, I know a few people that listen, and so, but I mean, without having another podcast that covers Cincinnati craft beer podcasts, that makes us #1.
This is very true.
Unfortunately, it's the #3 podcast about Cincinnati beer podcasts in Sheboygan. I don't know if you guys know
Damn
that,
Did not know about the Sheboygan.
Did not
but
know.
it's gaining quickly on the other 2.
All right, cool.
Awesome.
So, Gnome, you do a lot of podcasts. Do you listen to a lot of podcasts? What have you
I do.
listened to? All
I
right.
listen to all of the local ones, of course. That I
Excellent.
shouldn't say that because you guys you've reported on craft beer parenting, and I still have not listened to that one. Sorry,
Okay.
I promise I will one of these days.
You'll get to meet them at Beers, Booze, and Bunks.
Yes.
Excellent.
They will be at the 6 to 10 segment along with Marco and I, and Lord help us all.
That's probably about the point that Gnome will be a little tipsy, guys. I'm assuming.
Join us.
Yes.
We had a meeting today about beer, booze, and bonks, and planning some fun stuff and nailing down a couple more beers.
Nice.
You guys will be happy to know that I picked a Belgian style today from someone.
Excellent.
Oh, wow.
Can't say
Excellent.
who. Maybe even 2 Belgian style beers. That
So are you able to give us a little bit of breaking news and let us know, not any of the beers, I know you're kind of waiting on that, but when can we expect to start seeing
we have no
a few of
idea.
the beers?
We have no
okay, so
idea.
even though you've nailed them down, you still aren't planning
no,
on
Or is
releasing
the nailing
any
not
name.
finished?
That's not true. We did reveal a couple today.
Oh,
from
shit.
our featured sponsor, Cartridge Brewing.
Shout out to Cartridge.
We unveiled 3 of their beers. I think that we kind of announced.
Okay.
4 of them kind of announced. I guess they get to bring 4 because they are the sponsor.
And that's what I was just going to ask. Are they the only brewery that's going to have multiple beers?
No, we have
okay.
one other co-sponsor, and that is Third Eye.
Third Eye, okay.
They'll get to bring 2 beers.
Nice.
Cartridge will have 4. Cartridges bring Escape, their pina colada wheat ale. They are bringing a special, as of now, unreleased. I think I can say it's very hoppy. I can't say more than that because they still haven't announced it, and it's a special beer for their anniversary coming up. We will have their very first barrel-aged release ever.
Nice.
And I got a little sneak peek of that the other day, and it was amazing. And then the other one is fruited. What is it? The Fuse? Is that their fruited? Do you guys know?
That sounds right.
Sounds right to me.
I'm trying to think like off the top of my head, and it's not coming.
And I
but
can't
that
think of what
sounds
fruit
about
it's
right.
with.
Just say Pog. All the cool kids are
It's
doing
probably
Pog.
Pog. I actually had that discussion well, I shouldn't say anything. Another project that I'm working on that involves some beer and collaboration with some people.
All right.
And we were talking about what to make.
Definitely.
Talking about fruit, and I said anything but pog.
I have to say I'm with you on that.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Hollow Point is the other one. The hibiscus ale.
I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
I'm terrible.
flowers,
Terrible.
fruit, they're practically in the same family.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, sort of.
All good.
Fruity flower.
So this week, we only have 3 major podcasts to cover, and one of them is not even a local podcast. It's one that Marco found and let me know about. Think Beer, Drink Beer. And they covered, that's with John Holl, and they talked to the guys at MadTree.
It's a great episode.
It was really, really good. Definitely something that I want to listen to more of their shows now. Then, of course, Shift Beers, and then a newcomer to the area, Cincy Brewcast.
Yeah, I've listened to all of those. Actually, that's not true. I didn't actually listen to mine.
Okay. That's
Okay.
fair. I only listened to
Do you
this
need
one when
20
I'm
minutes
editing.
to catch up on that?
I'll be right back, guys. I got to go listen to it.
So, as the guest of the show today, do you want to start off with your shows, Shift Beers or Think Beer, Drink Beer?
Let's start with Think Beer, Drink Beer.
Okay, sounds good.
Fantastic. Think Beer, Drink Beer is a podcast hosted by John Holl. John Holl is a very respected beer writer who maybe a year and a half ago teamed up with fellow respected beer writer Andy Crouch to form a company called Beer Edge for beer information and really looking for to put out content and information to help the brewing industry and people who love the brewing industry. John Holl caught up with Brady and Ryan at
The Funk Fest.
Funk
Fest,
Fest. Yes.
Yazoo.
Yazoo. That's right. Yazoo Funk Fest. This is pretty exciting for me because not only do I listen to Think Beer, Drink Beer, but I also listen to one of his other podcasts, which is called Steal This Beer with Augie Carton from Carton Brewing out of New Jersey. That's a fun listen. If anybody would like to listen to that, I encourage you to do so. And then after he started Beer Edge with Andy Crouch, he started Think Beer, Drink Beer. And Andy Crouch also has a podcast called the Beer Edge Podcast. I'll get started, and then I'd love to hear comments and notes that you have, because both of you seem to take excellent notes.
I didn't take any notes on this one. I'm going to get in trouble.
And
That's part of
everything
the fun.
everything is up here in between these two ears for me when I listen to these shows, which is part of the reason that I go to therapy to try and improve myself. No, I don't. Maybe. No, I don't. No, but it starts off at a beer festival, and you can tell that they are outside at a beer festival, which is just in itself exciting. Do you find beer festivals exciting there? No?
A little bit. Festivals are a bit of a feeling for me, and I've been missing that feeling, and I've been really happy lately to have a little bit of that feeling back. So much so that planning my own beer festival.
Wow, how about that? So weird. Well, fantastic.
We'd love to hear more about it later on in the show. Yeah.
So I'm not going to spoil every question that John Holl asks of Brady and Ryan, but what I will say is right from the get-go, he asks about the company and their identity, and you can tell right from the opening question that John Holl is going to ask questions that a reporter or a journalist or somebody who's in this business, is going to ask and try and reveal to everybody who chooses to listen.
But I want to just step in real fast and say the way that he asks the questions is with an amazing amount of enthusiasm for what he's talking about. It's not just, I'm so-and-so news reporter talking to so-and-so from X brewery. You can tell that he is really genuinely interested in the breweries that he talks to, in this case MadTree. It is not just a black and white, cut and dry, I ask you a question, you answer it, let's move along. So it was really nice. It was a great flow, great energy throughout the entire interview. I loved it.
I thought it was a great interview, but you're right. I mean, somebody who leads a Facebook page called This Week in Rauch Beer is going to be passionate about beer. I mean, right? You don't go into a commitment like that without really kind of liking the industry a little bit.
Well,
Yeah.
He's been writing about the industry for a really long time. One of the smartest writers that is still writing about the industry to the level of what he is. You know it's going to be a good interview. It's fascinating to me. So I've been next week on the show. MadTree is on my show.
Nice.
So I've been putting together notes for the last several weeks about it, and it's fascinating to me to listen to somebody that doesn't necessarily know MadTree the way that a lot of us do. Still kind of find his way through an interview and get that essence of what MadTree is in a relatively short period of time, and kind of where they're going and who they are at their core.
Yeah, like one of the things that they ask, or not that he asked, but that Ryan and Brady talked about throughout the interview was they actually polled a lot of the customers about what is MadTree to you.
Right, the Space Force.
Well, no, this is even prior to that.
Prior to
this kind of led
this
into
was
the
the
Space
intern.
Force.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The intern went out there.
Yeah, the intern went out and was asking people, what is MadTree to you? What is the space? What is the beer? What is Why do you come back? Out of every single person that they polled, only one person said beer.
Right.
Which
first.
I think, as the first reason, that they want to come to MadTree, which ties back into something that came up a lot in all the podcasts, especially around Oktoberfest podcast time, where it is the community. It is a feeling that craft beer, and I think Cincinnati craft beer specifically, really has. I mean, it definitely. I love the beer. I love going to a brewery and having beer, but it's more about the environment, the atmosphere, the people, both, the other patrons, the people working at the brewery. So I really love that almost no one said beer was the main driving force for them to be coming to MadTree.
So in order to do your show justice, I don't want to go too deep into any of the questions necessarily. I want to keep it high level and encourage our guests to go listen to the show. But I do want to talk about things that were interesting to us about the show.
Sure.
One of the things, if I go back a little bit earlier in the episode, they start out and they talk about the fact that they're a little fuzzy because they were all drinking beer, having a good time the night before, which for anybody in the industry, or for anybody in the industry who has done a festival where there's an evening or a evening session of a festival and then maybe another 2 day or 2 sessions the next day, that's fun as hell, man. I mean, you get together, you get to talk beer, you get to talk about the things that everybody is doing. You taste something that's great. You get to go talk to somebody in the industry that can talk about it. Those are some of the things that are missing when you can't get together like that. The other thing is that the word fuck comes up very early, and John Holl just goes with it and then returns it with a return serve of fuck.
Yes. It was like a little tennis game of where all the fucks
You can say
are.
it, Julia.
Fuck.
All right, there we go.
Yes,
Way to go.
my very
Hey, Gnome, do you
delicate
have
ears,
any?
Fuck tennis. It's a game, right?
It's a sports ball. It's cool. But it was an absolutely fascinating interview. I love the show. I'm definitely going to go back and listen to more. Drink beer, think beer. Not to ruin anything, but I did love the ending question that John had about the green door. Listen to this episode of Drink Beer, Think Beer with John Holl. It is episode 105. It was released on October the 6th. And learn some stuff about MadTree that you never knew was out there.
Yeah.
The only other thing I'd say is that this is not news, and this isn't going to be breaking news or hopefully not ruin anything that you cover in your show. But they are part of 1% for the planet, and MadTree makes sure that in social media and things like that, you see that they're doing things around town to try and help, which is great. And maybe you get into that a little bit with them. I just wanted to touch on that was mentioned in the show. Also, what was mentioned very early in the show is that even though they are a big brewery in Cincinnati, they're still a small company, and they love when they're able to bring on and cultivate talent, and that talent has not only the confidence but the skills to go on and to do other projects.
Yeah.
So that came up as well.
I assume we'll bring it up a little bit when I enter. I don't know how you don't when it comes to MadTree.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I can give a little bit of a sneak peek at what you have in store for my episode. We will be sitting amongst the trees, hopefully outside, depending on the weather, and use that to kind of guide how we talk about who MadTree is.
That's great.
Awesome.
And then one of the fucks is where they say that they really fucking love trees.
Fucking love trees.
Who doesn't fucking love trees?
Right. Love it.
Let's move on to the next show.
Life goes on.
Long after the thrill of living is gone.
That's right.
It is amazing that in this show we have not broken out into like full song and dance. I mean, Don't Stop Believin' was on, and I held back.
But you don't need to. I mean, just go with it. Just go with it.
You probably won't get flagged on a podcast for a little bit of music in the background.
No. We'll get flagged because of my singing. It'll be this is obscene and all.
Right. And
manner of speaking.
Producer Brian likes to play this trick when we're here. Not only does he is our producer, but he also likes to kick the music up when we're here. Kenny's a little bit more, little average sort of music volume.
Yeah.
So, Shift Beers.
Well, no, you have a new glass of beer. You
I
need to
do.
let us know what you're drinking
Yeah.
for my show notes. For those of you not watching the live stream, just a little death stare in a certain direction. It's all good. All good.
Poked him. Icelandic white ale.
I've had
So
that.
wheat beer out of Einstock, Norway. That's right.
It's a good one. I believe that was in one of the higher gravity beer event boxes 2 years ago, I think. Very good. Very, very good. Buy your beer event boxes if you haven't already. They still have some left.
Was
it last year?
I think so.
Okay.
Did you get your?
I think
Did you
having
get your
2
beer vent
boxes
box?
last year.
I did.
Same. For those of you who are purchasing your beer vent box, little public service announcement. They thought that the Blue Ash location would be open in time for the pickup at the end of November. It will not be ready, so if you did order it and selected Blue Ash as the pickup location, you will need to go down to Northside. Jason sent out an email explaining it. But in case you don't read your emails and you listen to podcasts, you're going to have to go to Northside. On the west side, the best side.
Darn.
Yeah, it's such a shame.
Yeah.
Marco, do you have yours? Or have you ordered yours? I guess I should.
I have not ordered mine.
What?
Got to get on it.
I have not ordered mine.
I might have to kick you off the podcast if you don't order.
Okay.
Just saying.
Okay.
Don't want to threaten you, but
I don't mind buying it. Driving out there is I have a
Dude.
situation.
Dude.
I sent my wife last year to pick mine
to pick up the 30-pound box.
Let's
know.
let's delve.
That was a great story.
Let's delve into this a little
Oh,
bit.
that's a great story.
She was also pregnant
Yes,
at the time.
yes.
And had to carry a massive beer vent calendar box. I think she parked like 2 blocks away.
Yeah, the closest parking lot is like a block and a
Yeah.
half.
Uphill?
And
Both ways?
uphill both ways. And when Gnome was mentioning this on the Weekly Pint, I mean, I'm like screaming at my computer screen, like, "Oh God, you could have just pulled up front, and they would have brought it out to
They
you."
even
or Nick
offered
or
to
someone
carry
would
it to her
have
car for her, and she said, "No, it's fine. I got it."
Well, then that's kind of
her.
on her.
That's on
Would
her.
your would your Josh be able to pick my box up and you bring it to
I was
me?
just gonna say, dude, look, we're here every freaking Tuesday. I will bring you your box if you order it.
Okay. All right.
Dumbass.
It's probably why my kid is so like crazy now. He's got some messed up because he got some kind of stress-related injury from
From the beer vent
oh.
box.
beer vent box
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah, he was-
Shout out to Mrs. Gnome.
Hello,
She's
Mrs.
the
Gnome.
true MVP.
Shift Beers.
Shift Beers, episode 54, where they drank they were beers, but they were non-alcoholic beers.
Well, they said they were going to drink non-alcoholic beer, and then they kicked it off drinking super alcoholic
Super
beer.
beers. Yes. They kicked off their non-alcoholic beer show by drinking Otto, an Imperial Tiramisu Stout with strawberry. They're Neapolitan. I almost said variety. They're variant. It was an 11%er, so they were pretty good to go by the time it rolled around to.
Sounded like they all
NEIPA.
drank an entire can, each of them also.
Yes.
Which is,
Yes.
I guess, the shift beer way, but...
It really is. It really is. So,
And then they, so, yes, they did that. That was fun. I mean, you got a pregame, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's how Shift Beers does it. And so instead of doing like 4 Loco, they went ahead and just had some Neapolitan Ottos. And then they dug into the heart of the show, where there's a new sort of spin, twist, nuance on...
Well, before they got into the non-alcoholic beers, Jangle said that he got a new to him John Deere tractor. So shout out to Josh on his new tractor mower.
Congratulations.
He can finally cut the yard, which is now, knee high and all that good stuff.
He also talked about him and his dad like to go to these fancy private clubs, and where the beer flows like water into these magic pitchers that only cost $3.
Yeah, I mean,
that's right.
Where's my invite? Where's our invite? It's like, come on.
And it was before he had to go to work.
Well, and I'm assuming so. He used to live over in my part of town, which is
Hamilton?
still where his parents live. So I can only assume that this magic fancy private club where the beer flows like water has to probably be near me, and I did not even get like a. I was going to invite you. No, I didn't even get that. I just ignored. Same way I was ignored about wrestling night.
That's terrible. But yeah, going back to shift beers, they did another banger in a box. It was Chris versus Josh.
That's right.
That was great. They didn't mention if they recorded this time for the Patreon. I'm waiting for them to kind of snip together all of those.
I think he said he was recording all of them. That's what he said, but I don't trust him anymore since he didn't invite me to.
Well, Julia,
fancy private club.
You get any special content as a Patreon supporter?
Nothing new since the story about Chris shitting his pants, which
oh, that's right.
I mean, it was definitely something that did not need to be in the main episode. Was it Patreon worthy?
It was definitely Patreon worthy.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
oh, that's right. There's 2 of the 3 Patreon supporters at this table. That's some good stuff right there.
So Shift Beers, you owe us.
This table is currently funding Shift Beers. Because I think the other 2 patrons either work with the Shift Beers guys or are on Shift Beers.
Shift Beers.
I
Right, exactly.
still think it's funny that you are a patron of your
own. So
Patreon.
Are you a Patreon of...
No, I'm not.
Okay.
No, I'm not.
Because he puts out too much money out of his own pocket. Why would he give an extra $1
to
Patreon?
Well, so moving into the non-alcoholic beer segment of Shift Beers, what the fuck was that music? It sounded like what it reminded me of, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I just was not expecting it. It reminded me of a bowling competition broadcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know they were trying to be real classy, real sort of fancy with it, but it just sounded like
a PBS show. Is what they were going for.
Yeah.
First of all, I don't know how you, from a production aspect, that you had the music that sounded old-timey, and then everybody
sounded old-timey
had their little whispery voices.
It was awesome.
And they just ripped through all this non-alcoholic beer, which is the way to do it, really.
Yeah.
Just rip through it.
So, Marco, looking at your vast notes there, did you write down what they drank?
Well, they drank a bunch of non-alcoholic beer.
Da drink.
Yeah, da drink.
Da drunked. So I have that they had Labatt Blue.
Oh, I had that.
Well-Being Victory Wheat Ale with Orange, which was, I think, everyone's favorite.
It was the only one they said was any good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Bush Non-Alcoholic and Flying Dog's Deep Fake. Oh, and then they also had Ritual's Non-Alcoholic Gin, which...
I think they misunderstood the gin, too.
Yeah.
Non-alcoholic spirits are not meant to just be drank by themselves. They are meant to go into a cocktail. It's the only way to do it.
You can't tell them what to do. They run their own ship.
They do not taste like a spirit. They are designed to go in a cocktail to replicate some of the flavor profile that a spirit would bring to that cocktail.
So
put a little bit of the non-alcoholic gin with some tonic, and it might actually taste good, guys.
So maybe they should have consulted with you or anyone else before just doing shots.
They just read the label and said non-alcoholic.
Gin, and they're like, let's do it. Fuck it.
Anyone who ever has plans to drink should consult me first.
Yes. I am often tempted, and then I'm like, kids, work, life. There is Gnome doesn't need to answer my question on. So here are the 37 things on the flight, on the board. What should I drink tonight?
Which one should I have?
Non-alcoholic straight up gin.
My favorite.
No, wait. It's not straight up. I put a twist of lemon in it.
Jeez. Well, what did they mix? They mixed. I didn't write it down, but they mixed something with the auto, I believe. Didn't they pour something in the auto?
Yeah, one of them.
Was it one of their bonus beers, or was it one of the non-alcoholic?
It was one of the bonus beers, I believe, and I can't remember what it was.
Their bonus beers, if this helps to... Oh, I think it might have been this first one. Beth had New Glarus's Wisconsin Belgian Red, which they mixed, Josh mixed with auto. Chris brought Rheingeist Science Fiction, Funky Blonde Ale. There was Woodchuck's Pumpkin Cider and Toppling Goliath's Witch's Broom for their bonus beers.
Which is broom, not brew.
Correct.
My favorite my favorite quote from the show was during the non-alcoholic beer segment when somebody, I don't know if it was Brian or Chris, said that this makes me not want to party at all.
That's
Accurate.
right.
Yeah.
Accurate, yeah.
Favorite quote from the show.
So one of the interesting things that they did talk about in part of the show was like what vampire team they were on, because they got into Twilight for a little bit there, which, I mean...
Don't know what the hell that is.
So, Marco?
No, the funny part about that was that Button Brian brought it up and then immediately got very angry that people started talking about it.
You can't bring up a subject if you don't want people talking about it. That's not how this works. But Marco, what vampire team would you be on, or are you a part of?
I would be the vampire that Paul Rubens played in Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Nice.
Nice. For people who are younger, like 30 years old or younger. That was Pee Wee Herman.
That doesn't help anybody that's 30 years or younger.
Look it up.
I liked the choice of Count Chocula.
That was a very good choice.
That's my vampire team.
I thought about it for a long time, and I'm on Team Winchester. Supernatural, kill 'em all.
Yeah, don't know what that is.
Yeah. What?
I don't know what that is.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. I don't know what
only
you're talking
the
about.
best CW
there you go.
crap
There you go.
show
Yeah.
Oh, there
ever.
you go. That's why I don't know what,
seasons, it just
you're
wrapped
talking
up.
about.
Talk to your wife. I bet she watches CW
I'm
shows.
sure,
All the chicks do.
Sure she does.
Yes.
I try not to talk to her, though.
Wasn't Eddie Murphy a vampire in a movie?
Yes, he was.
Yes, he was. Yeah.
That didn't go well, did it?
I did not.
Didn't go well? I don't know.
So speaking of things that are dark and go bump in the night, do you want to talk about Blumpkin at all, or do we want to just leave that nugget? That literal nugget.
Drank. I had a Blumpkin this weekend.
I meant to go down there when it released, and I have not
You
yet
did.
been down
I had
there.
a Blumpkin,
You
but
did,
You
yeah.
had a Blumpkin this weekend.
I did not go down. I did not go down to.
That's fantastic. Hey, so
Everyone
one
had a
person at this
Blumpkin.
table had a Blumpkin this weekend.
I did not go down to Bellevue to get my Blumpkin.
Did someone else go down?
No, I
only certain people go down to Bellevue to get their Blumpkins.
went over to Pleasant Ridge, where Nine Giant
I don't
was
know if that's
throwing
better or worse.
their Barrel Fest.
Oh, so it's like a hipster Blumpkin then.
Mm-hmm. I asked for it, and
I bet you did.
was then asked, "Have you ever had a Blumpkin in a barrel?" To which I said, "No, I haven't." And Eric from Darkness said,
No,
"Man,
he didn't give.
I think
he gave you your
I
Blumpkin.
think he did. He said, "I think Blumpkins are better in a barrel."
Okay. All right.
If I ever
I think that's a direct quote of the conversation.
From Eric.
Yeah.
I then asked, how many different jokes do you have about getting Blumpkin? And he said, "Oh, I've got them all."
No, he's got the corner. Look, you want the Blumpkin jokes? I got the Blumpkin jokes.
He has a notebook.
Yeah,
So Blumpkin
I got them all.
jokes, and it's just
I
filled.
got them all. Rings all over his
Why is that
fingers.
his
and he's
voice?
like, I got this one for you. Hold on. This
That's
is your Blumpkin joke
amazing.
right here. You see this one right here? This is the one for you.
So you asked about people's vampire teams.
I did.
I'm curious about people's sleeping arrangements because that was a big topic of discussion on the show.
Yeah.
Evidently, Button Brian cannot sleep without mini cats climbing
Yes.
all over his face.
Yes.
Whereas Chris cannot sleep without levitating above the bed and exploding into some kind of
Particle
Yeah.
disjointed reality of non-existence.
Correct.
right.
Correct.
Where do you guys sit on that? Would you rather have cats leaping all over your face while you sleep, or float above your bed and then explode?
Can I float above my bed with a cat on me?
The cat has to explode, I think.
Oh, I don't know about that. I mean, I'm typically a just kind of sort of stay on. Like, so I start out wanting to like cuddle my boyfriend, but then he's like, no, you're too hot, and not like in the good way, but like, temperature wise. He's like, no, you got to get over on your own side of the bed. So I roll over, and then I get hot, so I have one leg outside the sheets, that temperature regulation thing. I do miss having a cat that slept next to me. So I like being close to another presence, but not necessarily in contact unless it's non-human. Well, that doesn't sound right at all.
Prefers
Unless it's a cat
non-human
sleeping
contact.
next to me. Yeah,
Right.
the non-human contact, that's where
Like a
it's at.
vampire.
Oh, yeah. Marco.
I think Marco's a dematerializer, personally.
Yeah, I
That's where
think
he goes.
so. I think it's dematerialize.
Into a poof of glitter. That's the way I picture.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Is
would-
that what they called you in high school? Just poof of
Poof of
Poof of glitter.
I mean, in certain
Glitter-
circles.
Glitter poof.
Oh.
In certain circles.
Oh, man.
No, but yeah, I mean, just
I mean, these are the tough
Putting
questions.
a lot
that,
more
it's
thought into
like,
this than I thought you were going to, buddy.
yeah, no, yeah, yes, I think so. And really, what it is, I mean, for all of you who listen to Truth Beer Pod, you know that I'm a guy that works 7 days a week, man. I mean, I got a lot going on, and if I could take the opportunity to rest and dematerialize and then come back together a refreshed version of myself, yeah, let's do it. Sign me up.
All right. Well, the last thing we have that we cannot forget is the Shift Beers burp count.
That's right.
Ooh, I lost count. I tried.
Yeah.
I tried to hang in there, but
Yeah.
I lost count at like
Tricky,
17 or something.
Another reason
That was
why everyone
very
should
early.
get mad respect to Julia.
Because I actually count. I have tick marks
I mean, I
all
count
over
as
my
well.
notebook.
Usually
about-
yours is more accurate than mine.
They tend to be just like a couple off, though. Like, you're normally
well, I
not
try
that
though.
far off
I mean,
than mine.
it's an effort, but
All right.
you're usually right on it.
All right, so this week, the burp count, they tend to stay pretty close to the same number, 46 burps, which equates, I don't know what words are anymore, and it's cool. 92 ounces of whatever liquid you happen to be drinking if you're doing this drinking game.
Preferably not non-alcoholic beer, though.
Correct.
Or non-alcoholic gin. What the hell are you doing?
So in this episode of Shift Beers, from start to finish, you would have consumed 5.75 pints of your favorite libation.
That's like putting potpourri in water and then deciding you're just going to drink the potpourri.
I actually think, by definition, that's exactly what it is.
Hold on a second. I got this autumn potpourri here.
No, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Gin is
Oh,
just
man.
potpourri and booze.
Yeah. So nice work, Shift Beers team. It's a fun episode. Everyone should listen, even though they're not in the middle of the show. They make sure to bookend the show with
Yes.
drinking something with some ABV to it, and they put a spin on it while you're listening to it, and they just rip through it.
Yep.
I do want, before we move on from Shift Beers, I do want to ask, since our guest does experiment with many different types of libations, and you have done some podcasting or vlogging about non-alcoholic products. Give us a little dissertation, a short, or not a dissertation, a short elevator speech on what your findings are over the past, say, year and a half, 2 years of non-alcoholic drinking.
Start the cheesy music. Ladies and gentlemen, non-alcoholic beer sucks. There are no great non-alcoholic beers. The only ones that are drinkable that I've discovered taste like the crappiest of beers that you will ever find. So if you are in search of a non-alcoholic beverage, I suggest water. Water is delicious. Water is refreshing. Water is non-alcoholic.
Budweiser Zero was the best of the non-alcoholic that you've tried.
The best that I've tried of the non-alcoholic so far, but it tastes
still,
like
right.
Budweiser. It's not a great beer. It tastes most like what it's trying to replicate, in my opinion. And there's still a lot that I need to try and a lot that I will try. Yeah. Stay tuned for that.
Cool. That'll be the next beer fridge selection.
Yeah, at some point. It's not the next one. I already have the next one picked out.
Well, I'm glad I asked.
Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent.
All right. Well, my glass is empty. Gnome's glass is empty. Marco is almost empty. I don't know where you put it all. So let's take a quick break, and we're going to talk to Gnome about all things Gnome.
Yeah, I can do that.
Let's do that.
We're going to rock this town.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we are. So, in case you haven't figured it out, we're back. We have plastic cups that we're probably going to get shocked from, if memory serves correctly.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Now I'm scared.
Thing. So, Marco, what have you given us plastic cups of?
We got the Steve Austin's Broken Skull IPA. Steve Austin Broken Skull IPA at 6.7% ABV out of El Segundo Brewing Company. It's good. Get it in you. Get on down the line.
There is no way that this is a beer that Steve Austin drinks. No way.
Yeah? You don't
Right,
think so?
because of his physique?
No, wasn't he always drinking some kind of like light American lager or something, smashing it on his
Did you
head
see
and
him
stuff?
when he went
but was
to
he
wrestling?
paid to do
or?
that?
No, I don't think he was around then, but I'm familiar with him. From commercials and stuff. I don't know. Wasn't he always drinking some kind of like
from
Budweiser or something?
Recently, what is he doing? Air conditioning commercials, or
I have not seen that commercial.
like, or what commercial is he doing?
I don't. I watch Netflix. I don't watch TV, so I don't see commercials.
Tide
Like
laundry.
beverage?
Oh, he
The
does do
beverage
the
or-
Tide.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
because you wash cold.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't watch commercials.
Stone Cold
Well,
washes his
well, during-
laundry
like
cold.
Netflix and
Football.
Hulu and stuff.
During the NFL, during football,
That's
and
true.
some of the sports ball.
Yeah, the sports
games
ball
and
stuff.
But you're right. They do have a whole. Tide does have a whole episode sponsored by Tide. Please send us some free Tide Pods because that shit's expensive.
Yeah, and they taste delicious.
I like the blue part the best. So my
Blue
fun
part's
fact.
way too bitter. It's the other part. What's the other
gotta-
part? Maybe
you just gotta
generic
expand
ones.
your
Sorry,
palate.
PNG.
So I have a friend that was on Steve Austin's Broken Skull Challenge.
You did?
Yeah.
Wait, what is the Broken Skull Challenge?
Oh, no.
Just like wrestling, we are going to go down a rabbit hole.
Am I
on
going to
this
get hit
one.
by a chair right now?
No.
No.
Because they have stool. Well, stool maybe, but not,
that
not
would
the
hurt
chair.
even worse.
I'd have to get up and get a chair.
What
to hit you with
season?
a chair. Shit, I don't remember. It's been 3 or 4 years. But Brooke Van Paris, look her up. She's an absolute badass. I met her doing obstacle course racing.
Oh,
as
nice.
I meet almost everyone but you. It seems.
I don't know how we didn't meet doing obstacle
I'm
course
telling
racing.
you, we were probably on the Tough Mudder course at the same time.
Probably.
And didn't know anything about it. But yeah, she did an absolutely amazing job. She ended up, her elimination was it was very cold, and they were doing a mini obstacle course race that ended with getting into essentially an ice bath and then doing burpees afterwards.
I've done that.
Cold got to her. She fainted and just medically had to go. But
What was her burpee count? Shout out to Shift Beers.
I love it.
So-
I would have to go back and count that one, but I mean,
So,
Brooke is such a badass.
For the Gnome and for all of you listening, Steve Austin's Broken Skull Challenge is where he takes contestants and he tells you he's on his Broken Skull Ranch. And
Wow.
it's contestant versus contestant. He tells you these are top performing contestants.
Break each other's skulls?
Not quite.
It's
I'm
basically it's
distracted. I'm
physical
trying to
fitness
find-
challenges.
Like American Gladiators.
Yeah, but
Kinda.
these are a little more brutal because they can be you versus somebody like in a pit, like a mud pit.
And you're tied
Nitro Clark was a brutal guy.
together. So one of the things I believe was you're in either a sand pit or a pit of water or mud, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
You and your competitor are tied together at the waist. There is a bell at each far end, and you have to run and ring your bell while you're attached. So as you're both running, it's
Whoever figures out that they break the other person's skull first.
pretty much.
The-
I
But
mean, there was
the ranch is called Broken Skull Ranch.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is delightful on vegetables. It's delightful.
Here it's good in water also.
Yeah.
Broken Skull Ranch water.
That's right.
Hey, new collab that could
Which
happen.
actually
you
could,
heard it here first.
could be a product line from Steve Austin, evidently.
Yeah.
That's right. Steve Austin. Ranch water's big. Could be Broken Skull Ranch water.
I find it interesting that he is you decided to use Broken Skulls as his brand over all of this stuff.
Well, what do you want to offer up alternatives for his brand?
I don't know enough about him to give him a
You know that
alternative
this
brand.
show isn't necessarily based on fact. What is your
right.
truth about what Steve Austin should have instead of Broken Skull for his ranch?
Captain
Water.
leather vest, right? He always had that little leather vest on.
Oh yeah.
So you want Steve Austin in a tiny leather vest.
He always wore a leather vest.
Where do you stand on dusters, by the way? I know duster jackets come out in wrestling. At my height, a duster makes me look like I'm wearing my parents' jacket.
Yeah.
I was at somewhere 2 or 3 weeks ago, and there were 3 adults
Cowboys?
in duster jackets.
Were they cowboys?
Well, it was 98 degrees outside.
They still could have been cowboys.
Could have been cowboys. It sounds like cowboy temperatures.
I'm not sure what we're doing in everyday life in Cincinnati with duster jackets on.
They were probably herding some cattle.
Yeah.
Could be.
Or
I don't know.
in Cincinnati, pigs.
Pigs.
Ah, yes.
It's all coming together.
But they hang. I mean, they just hang so low. I mean, pigs, pig poop. Why do you want to have a duster jacket on?
It keeps the pig.
No.
poop
How
off
many
of the
different
rest of you.
colored duster jackets do you have?
I sold all my duster jackets and traded them in for little leather vests.
So are you on the Stone Cold Steve Austin
I'm definitely
Patreon
I'm
supporter?
Not. Do you guys like this beer?
No.
I think this beer kind of sucks.
Yeah. So there was another famous person
strange.
beer that we tried that also sucked.
Mm-hmm.
Danny Trejo.
Oh, Danny Trejo also
that
wore a
was-
leather vest.
This beer is very strange to me. It doesn't taste like a New England IPA. Like it's close. It also does not taste like a West Coast kind of big kind of bitter ballsy IPA.
But there's
Yeah,
barbed wire on the can.
That's what confuses
Oh,
me.
so I'm tasting the barbed wire.
and
that's
a broken
what it
skull.
is.
This can does look a lot like Justin Neff's tattoo.
Yes.
Yeah, the barbed wire on his body part that we can't
Mm-hmm.
mention because this is a family show.
So sorry.
It's drinkable. It's fine. It doesn't hurt me to drink it, but
Yeah, it's not. It's not undrinkable, but it's something that I'm glad you spent your money on, and that I did not spend my money on.
No, I fall on the sword that way. I mean, that's sometimes how I do it.
I just picture a lot of very large, kind of grown men in dusters, drinking this and thinking that it makes them very manly to drink an
And then
IPA.
one guy in a tiny little vest going, put barbed wire all over the can.
it's a very strange beer to me.
It's alright, ish, kinda.
Yeah.
Not really.
Well, it's not going to kill us.
won't
So,
kill
It
us.
shouldn't. It
so
shouldn't kill us.
by definition,
It'll make us stronger.
it'll make us stronger. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we have one more, not necessarily podcast, but
We have-
podcast
we have
segment.
More of this can that I already popped. So
He did. Mark
we're
opened
gonna
both
have
cans.
to do a second round of
He
this
opened
damn
two
shit.
16-ounce
It's all right.
cans like,
It's all right.
yeah, we're going to rock this shit. And we're just like, oh, God, no.
It'll make us
no.
even stronger.
That's right.
Yeah, I might rip the steering wheel off my car driving home.
You're gonna be on.
She-Hulk.
So,
Yeah,
what is this show? What are we covering?
Well, we're going to cover gnome life.
I
We're
would
going to
like
cover
to.
an Instagram Live. We're going to cover a Prost, a weekly pint, and then I think we should wrap up with a Cincy Brewcast because the Cincy Brewcast was more of a conversation, and I'd like to
Yeah.
end with the conversation if that works for.
It works for me.
present?
I don't even remember everything that I posted this week, so you guys will have to help me.
So
Nice.
I
We
agree.
can tell you what you did.
Okay.
I agree in the order of this because I also wanted to end with the Cincy Brewcast. So
Yeah.
awesome work, Julia.
Thank
We
you.
seem to be hitting a little bit of a stride here, Julie and I.
Perfect.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
must be
it's-
that Broken Skull IPA.
Yeah, making
Damn.
us stronger.
Mentally and physically.
I don't know.
I don't know.
The skulls are broken because your brains are growing.
Okay.
All right, it's cool.
So what are we doing?
So let's start with pros because
Okay.
I have a list. We'll just kind of go down the list
Let's do it.
and see what happens. So on Prost, you drank Arche Brewing's Emperor of the Known Universe.
I remember that.
Which was, you pronounced this word wrong, so I'll correct you. It was a pasty stout.
Pasty stout,
A
yeah.
pasty stout. Peanut butter stout at 12%. I love what Arche Brewing does. I have never had a bad beer from them. I don't buy them super frequently because I like to buy the Cincinnati stuff.
Right.
But they put out some really good stuff.
I don't think I've ever
So-
bought one, but I've
you've been given
gifted
them?
many
Yeah,
of them, and I've enjoyed them all.
By birth, or what are you talking about?
Yes, give it to me by birth. I say this all the time. I'm not a huge pasty stout fan, but when I drink some of them, I do kind of enjoy it, especially you get that right time and right place. And this one hit perfect that night.
Yeah, I did like how in this episode of Pros you talked about all of your different beer fridges and what you had and all. Like this one is for, the lighter stuff, the garage beers, etc. This one's for this. So it sounded like you have a total of close to 45 beer fridges and 3 entire fridges are dedicated to seltzers.
Seltzers.
Pretty much,
Two,
yeah.
Okay.
two for Belgians. 2 or 3 more for hazy IPAs.
I keep the hazy IPAs at room temperature, actually.
Oh, really?
That's the way to do it. That's the
yeah.
way to drink them. Yeah.
Rauch beer? Room temperature?
No, rock beer
No.
gets ice cold.
Okay.
You
Very
put ice
good.
cubes in that before you serve it. Actually, frosted glass. And
How many
ice
different
cubes.
beers do you put ice cubes in before you serve?
Most of them,
I was gonna say,
depending
the answer's
on
not all of them. Are you
most,
doing
most
it
of
right?
them.
Yeah.
Okay.
I asked Josh if we could get a beer fridge, and he just looked at me, and I went. So that means I have to just order one and, apologize rather than ask for permission. I
Full
think-
size? Like
Hell
with a
yeah.
freezer?
Well, it doesn't. Will it need a freazer unless I get like
Well,
blocks or?
yeah, where would you
something
put
like
your
that?
blocks or like
This is
frozen
true.
margaritas and stuff?
This is true.
2 of my beer fridges were free
Nice.
because I am an Instagram whore.
Excellent.
Ah.
Excellent.
Okay.
So post lots on Instagram, and companies will give you
Oh, I
shit.
thought. Okay, never mind. I thought that meant
No,
something
no, no, no,
different.
no, no, no. That's
No,
that's
no.
OnlyFans. He hasn't
That's-
talked about that yet, and we weren't going to mention
I thought that meant
that.
something different. You got them for free.
Different
Never
type
mind.
of-
Okay.
Different.
type of-
Yeah. So
I'm not on Instagram, so I didn't know.
Well, you should, because you might get free fridges.
But he is on OnlyFans, so if you suddenly get,
I don't think they give fridges on there, though.
I mean,
Just give herpes.
I mean, I mean,
But don't you put out wish lists or something, and then people?
on OnlyFans?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
You tell me.
I don't know. I have no idea.
so, so as you touched on just before with the pasty stout, you did say that you don't think that you'll ever really be a pastry stout. Oh, I'm sorry, pasty stout
Based stat, yeah.
person. But I mean, look at you in seltzers
I'm
and
not-
Belgians. So you never know.
Yeah.
As your palate changes, as time goes on, maybe you'll decide that you want a dark beer that is made with nothing but pure brownie fudge thrown into it.
Brownie
and
fudge and marshmallows.
Marshmallows, yeah.
I mean, maybe.
That was my nickname in high school.
So, and Reese PC. That's about it.
I can't do that. I can't do that one. I gotta.
Hold on. Hold on, everybody.
The
Clear
smile
out.
just disappeared.
All right. We're gonna clear out for Gnome right here.
Ladies and gentlemen, there was a guy named Reese, Dr. Reese, and he created the cup. And he said, "Ladies and gentlemen, this is my cup. This is now Reese's cup." And he built a company, and they produced Reese's
And they filled
cup.
it with peanut butter.
And then one day they said, we should create small pieces of this because look, Reese's Pieces. It rhymes. And then many, many years later, there were lots of jerk-offs across the world that started calling them Reese's Pieces and Reese's Cups. And Dr. Reese rolled over in his grave, groaned, and sobbed for eternity. Reese's. Reese, Reese, Reese. Reese.
So, in case any of you were wondering if Gnome has anything that he's passionate about outside of beer,
It's the pronunciation of two things.
Reese's Pieces.
Hefeweizen and Reese's Cups.
Oh, that's.
I'm
great.
just glad we were able to offer you that platform, Gnome.
Yeah.
I mean,
I appreciate
not that
it.
you don't have a platform of your own, but not really in your lane there. But for us to offer that up to you, and then you just, I mean, basically put
Let
your
it go.
heart out
Oh,
on
yeah.
this table. That's fantastic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's something
Love
I'm
it.
very passionate about.
Yeah.
Especially this time of year with Halloween coming up.
It's true.
Lots of
They'll be
pieces-
all over. Lots of pieces.
Lots of pieces of candy being
Of
consumed.
Reese.
This also sounds like something that
Dr. Reese. I think he was a doctor. I'm not making that up.
Okay.
What's next, Julia? What else did we want to talk about? That
Not so easy
in
to stay on
front
track, is it, when you have somebody else messing with you?
Oh hell, we don't stay on track when it's just the two of us. My God, half of the shit that I have to cut out.
I
of
will
these
say I haven't broken into song and then fake pianoed it at any point today.
which is always the best part of the show.
Well, thank you.
Gnome Life, your vlog on the YouTubes, youtube.com/gnarly gnome, because you forgot the word "the" when you set up the channel. Is that correct?
It's easier to go to thegnarlygnome.com/YouTube.
There you go. You heard it here. That's his preferred method of finding all the YouTubery.
Easier to remember.
Yeah. You and Meryl were down at the Fowling warehouse
Oh, yeah.
explaining the mystery beer machine.
Yeah, and maybe some of the mysteries of fowling and what the hell it is.
And what a bonk is.
And a bonk, yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, for anybody who is just joining us for the first time, Meryl is the first name of the person that runs Cincy by the Pint, which has been around for about a year.
He is helping me with plan this festival, helping me pick some breweries and some beers, and we drank some mystery beers together.
I have to be honest, I wasn't aware of Meryl and Cincy by the Pint, but
Yeah, me either. He just kind of showed up there, and we just started working.
welcome Meryl. And
That's kind of how Marco and I started this podcast. I walked in here one day, saw some guy sitting with a microphone, like, hey, what you doing? He's like, starting a podcast. You want to join? I went, all right.
the actual story is a little bit cooler than that. But
The actual story is a little bit cooler than that.
But I mean, not far from the truth.
Yeah.
Welcome, Meryl. And hey, anybody who's passionate about craft beer, Cincinnati craft beer, is somebody that we welcome to the fold. So
I am a little concerned. So we, if you didn't catch this from the video, we are filling the mystery machine, one button for each of us of some of our favorite beers, some fun stuff that maybe you'll be happy to get, and maybe some fun stuff that you might not be as happy to get, but it'll be fun.
And it's all 12-ounce cans because that's what the mystery machine
That's what a pop
fits.
machine
Okay,
holds.
Okay.
So I'm concerned about Meryl because of that, because he is
He
one of
tends to
those
like-
trendy kind of drinkers. His,
Most of what he likes are in those 16-ounce
his pasty
cans,
stouts
so
and his New England IPAs won't fit the machine. So we're going to see what he's going to do.
It'll be interesting.
It's gonna be
I'm
a bunch
still
of
trying
empty
to
cans with the
decide.
IOUs written on them. I bet.
Still trying to decide if I want to use my 2 mystery machine tickets that you do get when you purchase tickets to the Beers, Booze, Bonks, Boinks, Binks Festival. Do I want to get 2 gnome beers, 2 by the
doesn't
pint
work that
beers,
way. You don't have a choice.
Oh, okay.
It
Okay.
is
I thought
one of
because
each.
you had okay.
They
all
probably
right.
wouldn't stop you, but
But it's designed to be
technically
one
it's
of
supposed
each.
to be one of each.
All right. That's fair. Now, will you know which one you're getting?
Yes.
No, okay,
Yes.
okay.
Yes. The button is
Awesome.
clearly labeled. One says gnome. One says pint. I don't know. We haven't figured that out yet.
will
No.
there be an area marked off with tape or something where if you take one of these beers and you do not open it and you do not want to drink it, where you can leave it and pay it
No.
forward to somebody else?
No, what's going to
You
happen?
must drink the beer.
No, what I heard is going to happen is there's going to be a sanitized trash can, and any of the beer that you don't drink gets dumped in, and you have yourself a nice little cocktail for the Kick the Keg party.
You
You
get
just
a
dip it-
That sounds
dip
like
a
a
cup
Ship
in
Beers.
Kick the Keg
That
party.
sounds like a
Get a
Ship
mug
Beers
and a-
exclusive, where Ship Beers
100%.
Ship Beers stands there,
Yeah.
and then at the Kick the Keg party, they're just like boofing anything out of the bucket.
It's a cuvee.
Cuvée Day Mystery.
But no, it was a great vlog for both explaining the mystery machine at the Fowling warehouse, as well as giving a little exposure to some of the things that we'll be seeing at the Beer Fest on November the 20th.
Julia
trivia.
being in IT is not only
That means
just
I try.
not only just attention to detail and loves taking notes, but also tries to be grammatically correct. So no matter how many times we call the fowling warehouse fowling, she's going to call it fowling because the fowling warehouse, it's grammatically incorrect. However, when it's your business, you can call it whatever you want.
Yeah. Think bowling. It's bowling pins.
Yes.
But with a football. It's fowling.
Yeah. And I understand that. And it's one of those, my brain knows it, but when my eyeballs see FOWL, what my brain knows and my
mind's telling me yeah. No, it's my mind telling me no.
It happened. We were doing
my
so
body,
well, Marcus. So well.
My body's telling me yeah.
Yeah. So Marco's mic is muted right now, so we are going to have. Notice the blissful silence of what's happening. Are you going to behave yourself? Yeah. He's saying yes, but you guys can't hear him because. All right, I'm trusting you.
He's evil. His music is nice. He is evil.
But yeah, so go watch the vlog. Instagram Live, you did another Oktoberfest showdown. You did.
Yeah, I did in the garage.
Listerman versus Brink. You did. I mean, there were tools.
You've only been doing this since July.
You're telling me.
So the Instagram Live, because those do the Instagram Lives stick around?
Yes.
The stories disappear, but the lives stay.
Yeah, so if you go to IGTV, which is a whole separate app.
Okay.
It's always on there.
Okay.
I'm getting to it.
Unless I post it on my actual timeline, whatever that thing
Which
is
is
called.
typically how I see it, and then I click on it, and then I get to watch it. Okay.
So sometimes I post them on there, sometimes I don't.
Okay, so if you don't have Instagram like Marco, who is stuck in the 12th century for some reason, Listerman versus Brink. Brink won over Listerman, who Listerman was the winner of the Oktoberfest Showdown last year. It was another really close one, but Brink edged Listerman out by just a hair, as
just
you're
a hair.
saying.
It was tough.
Yeah.
I found it interesting that Brink's Märzen and Listerman's Fest beer looked almost identical.
Yes. I mean, on Instagram there were. Brink's was a little bit darker,
but not bad.
they were very, very similar.
So that was either the night before, or maybe 2 nights before the festival at Nine Giant.
Okay.
That was awkward. That was definitely a little awkward. I got a little bit of shit.
Oh, you did?
Why? That's
Well, so we had a
little
festival
hairy there,
where I was hanging out with people from Listerman and Brink and High Green. Some of those beers have recently gotten kicked out of the bracket, and
but they have a chance to come back.
That's exactly what I said.
Well, and look, I mean,
I'm not in the industry, so I mean, maybe my view on it is just skewed. But to me, I would think that. And this is nothing against this, because I mean, you say all the time, this is your personal thought, and your thought, changes year after year,
moment to moment.
Moment to moment. Like, if you would have had those same 2 beers an hour late after dinner, or maybe before dinner, whatever the timing was, it could have been completely
not
different.
In the garage.
It is right. It is not a slam on either. It is, like you've said time and time again, it is not one is necessarily better than the other. Just in that moment, which one do you feel like you would prefer more? You're still going to drink the other one. So, I don't know. I don't think anyone should get upset about it. I think that they should just love and have fun with it.
No, this is personal.
Oh.
They're out for blood.
You're just saying that because your beer's not in this year.
No. No, I mean, look, it's been charted in previous years. My beer would have beat everybody if it was a lower ABV. I
put up or shut up.
I have nothing to gain from entering this competition anymore because I know I we would have won it. But no, I totally get where fun banter, or maybe even some people's superficial feelings might get hurt, but ultimately, everybody being in the contest, this is your opinion on your favorite.
It's all for
period.
Fun, guys.
That's all it is. It's not saying that in all of Cincinnati This is the official #1 Cincinnati
I mean,
Oktoberfest.
kind of is, but
Well, but you're not saying this is the
However,
only one that you're ever going to buy.
It kind of is.
I'm one of the few people that can sit here and drink these Oktoberfest and say, this is my favorite Oktoberfest. This is the best Oktoberfest in Cincinnati this year. And next year, I will buy every single one of them again.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of people that can say
No,
that.
I agree. Where you're doing a lot of work. You're posting it as this is my favorite, and look, I mean, Cincinnati cares about this stuff, man, and Cincinnati breweries care about this stuff. They care that they make a good
Damn
to
good
great, damn good to awesome Oktoberfest, and when you take that style and you separate it into fest beer, Märzen, and then you hybridize it into this, that, and try to appeal to the masses and everything. They want somebody who's gonna say, look, I love what you did, or I like what you did, and just see what they can do for next year.
Sure.
I mean, it's
And
ultimately whoever ends up being the person that you pick as the best, they're going to be happy, and they're going to josh everybody else that was in the contest.
I hope so.
Yeah,
And-
I mean, I guess my thought is, when you do the Oktoberfest showdowns, when you say this beer, and I'm using air quotes, wins over this other one, have you been told that that's affecting sales of those? You know what I mean? So it's like, if what you were saying was
No,
was
on the
shelves
affecting their
anymore. They're all
bottom
gone.
line.
It's pumpkin season.
No,
No,
it's
but you know what I'm saying? It's like if what you were doing had a financial impact on these businesses, I can see them being a little cranky about you said this versus this.
I
But
think
it's
it.
not. So
No, I think it's more about everybody who knows the gnome and in the industry.
they want to be the next
just
favorite.
just bantering back and forth. I think that's what it is.
It's
I
supposed
hope
to be
so.
fun. None
I
of
hope
these
so.
beers have been bad. I shouldn't say that. There was. I won't.
The import was bad. We'll do that.
I
The
haven't done the
import
import
that
yet.
had,
No.
well, I'm
yeah,
prefacing
yeah.
for when you get beer disses.
But-
Yeah, it's going to be bad.
I would not be upset about any one of these beers put in front of me in Oktoberfest season. So they're all worthy of being drank in large quantities. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to know the next showdown?
Yes. Yes.
I have one more that I'm able to do right now
Okay.
until I get Bierkus in my fridge.
Beer
Good
guess.
God.
Come
Causing me
on.
so many problems right
Come
now.
on.
So
Well,
up-
have
up
you gotten
next-
any insight as to what the actual what took them so long to get
They
it?
wanted to make their Oktoberfest in October.
But
Well, but to make it no.
They wanted their Oktoberfest to be released in October.
okay.
So I probably
Which I
could have.
get it.
October 30th or what the hell?
It's been out. It's been out for probably a week or so.
Okay.
I haven't been able to make it down to Ludlow to grab a 4-pack.
I will say there is something. I don't want to get into a seasonal creep conversation, but when somebody releases something early and everybody follows in the next few weeks, when somebody wants something towards the end of a season, there is a market for that product
Yeah.
towards the end of a season.
Right.
Sort of,
But
unless you're the
You've had
person that
so many.
releases in October and then you realize, oh my God, nobody bought Oktoberfest. They're done with Oktoberfest.
Right,
And it
that's what I
just
was gonna
sits.
say.
yes,
Yeah.
I would agree. I don't know what they were going for there. I'm glad it's out. I'm glad they finally got it out there. And okay,
I would-
what's the next showdown?
I would much rather you release your Oktoberfest properly lagered and properly aged a little bit later than I would want it to be, rather than rushing it out.
Oh, sure, yeah.
That's my preference.
But you
Well,
have to be
put it-
aware that.
Put out your proper product. Is
Yes.
really
Right.
what we're
Yes.
saying.
Right.
But you
Put-
also have to know the timing of when consumers are going to be buying the most of said product.
And with
I do-
Oktoberfest, it should be lagered.
September-ish, yeah.
We can talk. We can talk when the mics
Right.
aren't hot about what to do. What to do later. But
The,
yes,
The next showdown is looking, if I remember correctly, that it's going to be Braxton against Sonder, which is a couple heavy hitters.
That is.
Yes.
Yes. A little concerned about how it's going to turn out. It's
Well, what
Hey,
concerns you? I mean, someone's going to win, someone's going
might
to
get
not
beat up
win.
in the parking lot after school. I don't know. I mean, it's a little terrifying.
What? Why? Because Sonder has some really giant brewers, and then
Hey, they all work
people
out.
on their staff are trained boxers,
Yeah.
or
There's trained boxers all over the city now. Thank you, 50 West, for training all of these people to beat the crap out of them.
that's what I was going to say. Or across the river, do they have some giant people in trained boxers?
Yeah, I mean, there's trained boxers everywhere now.
Yeah.
You're never safe.
Hey, good on you for doing the Lord's work with this.
It's a rough job, but somebody has to do it. And
Yeah.
I'm
I do
willing
think
to do
somebody has to do it. I really
I
do.
agree.
And I've floated the idea, and probably because you're doing it, nobody else is going to do it. But I've floated the idea of maybe Cincy State doing like a sort of competition based something. But
That'd be cool.
and that would be beers blind and beer tasters and all that. But I mean, they probably said, I mean, this guy's already doing it, so why would we do it?
Right, that's right.
So moving on from the Instagram Live, that was like 7-ish minutes, and this conversation took much longer than that. But it was a very
Did
good
we,
one. Though.
did we
It was
triple the amount of time that the actual
Yes.
episode was?
Yes, we did. Weekly Pint. I had 3 notes on it. Life is chaos, as is typical. The beer list for the beers, booze, bunks, binks, blinks, bunks, any other B word that I can think of to throw in here is being finalized. You have a couple nailed down, as we talked about at the beginning of the episode. Still working on finalizing the rest of those. I am so incredibly excited for that.
It's gonna be good.
Festival is a feeling. I want that feeling.
What
and
styles of beers do you want to make sure that we have represented at the festival?
Italian Pilsner.
There will not be an Italian Pilsner as of right now.
It's bullshit.
I can't guarantee there won't be one, but there probably won't be one.
Traditional Pilsner.
We do not have a traditional Pilsner
It's
right
bullshit.
So-
now. Right now.
Well, right now he's asking. He's not saying whether there are or not. He's asking for our
shouldn't
opinions
say
so
that
they
there-
could potentially.
Are there any beers without lactose? Because if
Yes.
not,
That's
I'm
true,
just.
yeah.
There
Can
may
I-
be some traditional Pilsners inside the mystery machine. That is almost a guarantee.
Marco, if
that
I
there
get a
will be
Pilsner, I'll
in
give
there.
it to you.
There will definitely be beers without lactose.
I'm gonna have
Plenty of
I'm
beers
about to get
without lactose.
fire in my eyes.
We hang on, let me look at the top secret list real quick.
So while he's looking at the top secret list, I'll say what I would like to see. Actually, I'm going to say what I don't want to see, and then what I know that
You okay?
that my Josh
You
wants
good?
to see
little COVID.
because.
It's okay.
How long have you had that cough?
little COVID.
My entire life.
So I'm going to a concert next Friday. So I swear to God, if you give me COVID, I am going to kick you in the shins
I
and
do
make
not
you walk on
currently have COVID.
Legos. No, I'm kidding.
Concert.
You know which one. We've talked about it before.
Rick Astley.
You know it. No, 21 Pilots. I would love to see for my Josh a couple of West Coast IPAs because he absolutely loves West Coast
Hell
IPAs.
yeah, West Coast.
So nice, dank, hoppy, bitter. He's all about that. So that would be incredibly awesome to see.
Bring me the hops.
I like to try everything. So to me, as long as there's a variety, I'm not going to be upset. But I just would prefer.
Yeah, so there's going to be this hazy IPA with Citra Mosaic, and then there's going to be this hazy IPA with
No,
like
no.
Strata
no,
and like
nothing,
Lotus.
actually
and then there's
nothing.
going to be this hazy IPA that they
Does it have
use like
marshmallows in it?
Noble
Please tell me it
hops
has
plus
marshmallows.
Citra.
You will be happy to hear that there may or may not be an Italian Pilsner on the list.
Ooh.
Hell yeah!
There,
And if it is named after me,
there-
even better. No.
It is not. It is not. It is not one that I think has been released yet. So I think it's a new
Okay.
one.
All right.
So-
We built a food pyramid
Okay.
to make sure we got the beers that the style breakdown we wanted to have. So
Excellent.
Where was Fruity Pebbles on the food pyramid?
they were much bigger than I wanted them to be. but
But
not
hey.
specifically Fruity Pebbles. There are no Fruity Pebbles beers as far as I know.
Yeah.
The biggest section of the food pyramid is definitely your big tasty stouts
Mm-hmm.
and your big kind of IPAs and things
Nice.
like that.
Okay.
Coming down from that pyramid, I think we came into, I believe, adjuncted miscellaneous ales.
Okay.
Kolsch.
So, yeah. Kolsch, that we didn't have a Kolsch part of the pyramid.
Fuck.
we tried to keep this as varied as possible and make sure that there was a little bit of everything except Kolsch.
And I feel that
I can't guarantee there won't be a Kolsch.
and I've talked to Meryl incredibly briefly at Fretboard during one of the live podcast series. But just knowing you from the podcast, I have full confidence that it is going to be an incredibly varied beer fest. It's not going to be all stouts, all barrel aged, all IPAs, all. They're not all going to fall in the same category. So I'm ready.
I promise that every single beer that will be on tap at this festival has gone through either Meryl or I, hopefully both of us. There's some argument on a couple of them.
How many English milds?
I'm pushing for some English mild to happen, but I don't know if it will or not.
Some bullshit. If you're in charge of a beer festival and you can't get the beer style that is your favorite,
there's not a lot of
what the
people
fuck?
with English mild ready to go right now, so it would have to be one of the places that is willing to brew something special for our festival.
Oh, I mean that's
And there's
coming
not
up.
a lot of time for that. Yeah,
No. I mean English mild. I mean, even on a demand, you're talking about 2 to 3 weeks.
Let me tell you this about Kick the Keg. I'm probably telling way too much. I'm probably going to get in trouble for this.
You
but
just let me know what you want me
Kick-
to cut.
No,
and I
it's
will
fine.
cut.
Yeah, everybody that you're dealing with listens to the show.
That's
Pretty much, we are the
So,
listener base.
Kick the Keg.
No, the people that
Is
Oh.
going to
Yeah.
involve smoke machines
Ooh.
and maybe lasers and
So smoke your own
black
beer?
lights.
lasers.
Lasers on
Lasers.
freaking shark heads.
Once
Frickin'
So you said smoke machine. Can we smoke our own beers?
no, you cannot smoke your own
Damn
beers.
it. I'm not going. Can I get a refund?
I guess you
Can
could.
I get a refund on my
I guess I
ticket?
can't stop you from smoking your own beer, but that is not the purpose of the smoke machines. It's for ambiance.
Are you going to stick the poker in some of the beers?
I would love to do that,
that
but
would
I'm
be so
terrified
awesome.
to burn the building down.
Are they like the heavy duty plastic taster cups, or is it glass?
I
Do
think
you know
they're-
yet?
I'm pretty
Or is
sure they're
that-
glass.
So we could stick
I
a
haven't
hot
seen them yet,
poker
but
in
they're
them.
ordered. I'm pretty sure they're glass.
Cool. Even if they're heavy duty plastic, I'll take a risk. Yeah, I'm going to be the first one kicked out of this thing for trying to melt my taster glass. Apologies in advance. Well, we'll see what happens. The last thing I had on Weekly Pint to try to kind of rein this back in somewhat.
Welcome to my
is
life.
What the fuck is vodka? I have vodka light
Oh
written
my
down,
God.
and that's
Vodkite.
not
Vodkite.
right.
Vodkite.
It's Brondo for the real world.
I don't know what it is.
It is vodka with electrolytes. It's got what
It's-
plants
Yeah.
crave.
It's coconut water with vodka and
Which coconut
flavor.
is a healthy, like, hydration, blah, 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 blah,
yeah, but I feel
blah.
like it's just messing with
But
people at this point. It's just like
it's
like
healthy.
"Hey, this is healthy, guys.
Right,
It's okay.
Right.
What?
Dude, the consumers will believe anything.
That being said, yeah, I'll definitely try it. I will
Oh,
try
yeah,
it if I
yeah.
see it. I'm going to
Sure.
drink it.
Yep.
Or if they want to send me some vodka, I will. I'll try it and I'll give it a fair shake.
There you go.
You okay, Marco? Is that COVID?
It's probably COVID.
No,
Good thing he's 6 feet away.
I don't think it's
I know.
COVID. No, I think we're good. Little allergy, little, whatnot. We're all good.
How many
Well,
fingers am I holding up?
Oh, jeez.
You have 4 fingers,
It's
and
not
then you
COVID.
tuck your thumb.
It's not COVID.
under
I
there.
I didn't
it's good.
realize the vision test was part
Oh
of
yeah,
it.
yeah.
No, it's fine.
Trust me, I'm a doctor.
You didn't have that today when you got tested?
No, they just had me
That's
shove
weird.
stuff up my nose.
She might have COVID.
Oh, shit.
But
I
she never
probably
got the
do.
proper test.
I didn't get the
Yeah.
And we're back once again, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for sticking around with us through all of our recaps. Our glasses have been refilled. I am drinking a wet hopped cloaked in cashmere IPA from Columbus Brewing Company. It's a lovely 6.5%er. Yeah. No?
This is Marionette from Rheingeist. It's a Euro pale lager.
A what?
I don't know anything about what that means. It's some kind of a lager.
Okay.
And it's okay.
All right.
What is 6.7%? Is that what that says?
Yep.
Yeah.
That is what it says. I've got a better vantage point to the biscuit board from where the
busted
gnome
biscuit board.
is. I pulled out of the cooler Stone IPA, 6.9%. You know what, you love it.
Yeah,
It's
you've had that a couple times. It's a solid hitter.
Yeah, I actually, producer Kenny told me that I was the single
Only person to get those?
single biggest buyer of those stovepipe beers that they have in the cooler there. And I just said, you're welcome.
Yeah. So we have one more actual podcast to cover tonight, and that is Cincy Brewcast.
Was it an actual podcast?
I mean, did you put it out or not? I mean, was it a thing or not?
It's kind of ranting and raving of a lunatic.
Solo ramblings of a gnome. I mean, it hit all the podcatchers, so yes,
I
it
guess
was an
technically it was a
actual podcast episode. So one of the first things that I got out of it after you started talking about, I'm just going to be kind of going off the cuff. I'm sitting, at home alone in my studio doing this recording. You need to have Marco on speed dial for weeks when things like that happen. Just even over the phone, even just something to where like, Marco, I need you to call the drunk line. I need you to do it. Let's just banter back and forth.
Would have been happy to do it. Julia, he's got my number. He could have done that. And
It's like midnight when I started recording that.
that would have been
So,
all right.
and?
It had been okay. We've done that before, by the way.
we have
On the weekly Brewcast is what I was about to say.
Cincy
which
Brewcast.
is kind of fitting. But yeah, this week's Cincy Brewcast, you were just sharing some of your thoughts. Didn't have anywhere that you were either you weren't scheduled to be or didn't have anywhere that worked out, to be. So you just let us know some of your thoughts about just kind of what's going on. You were drinking an Italian Pilsner from High Grain called Giulia, but spelled differently than how I spell my name. It is the Italian.
Giulia.
Yeah, Giulia.
Can I go out on a limb and say something?
Please.
Italian Pilsner is not a thing. It's a dry hopped
Holy
Pilsner.
shit.
It's dry hopped Pilsner, guys. That's all it is. Dry hopped.
What the?
Dry hopped
Oh, Marco
Pilsner.
just dropped his mic. I mean, I'm glad that you paid for that, not me.
Some bullshit
So an Italian
right here.
Pilsner is really just a Pilsner made with lots of hand gestures. You know?
It's like, did you see?
Maybe, if we want to get a little bit racist about it.
Did you see that? Did you see that Twitter of the Italian soccer team like a month ago? They're like, hey, and everyone's like, flinging their hands around. It was amazing. Coming off of the weekend, where Delgardo's cannolis were a thing at Third Eye, and then their anniversary. Shout out to Italians. And Delgardo's, the guardian of the deli.
Yep.
So,
The prosciutto.
and the prosciutto.
Cincy Brewcast. Yes.
Oh, that's what we're talking about.
Gentlemen.
Where?
This is a classy show. Yeah, excellent. I mean, absolutely nowhere in this establishment is there a single one. You talked about Nine Giants Barrel Aged Beer Fest. That was on the 16th. We kind of already covered that. And I've already said this on our show, it is really making me excited for the beer, booze, and bunks. Is there going to be a lot? I don't say a lot, but is there going to be a decent amount of booze or like cocktails? I know you mentioned
There is a booze presence. I wouldn't say there's definitely, it's beer heavy, very beer heavy. There will be a couple different kinds of booze and a couple different kinds of seltzer.
But to go into it,
Lots of
lot
bonks.
yeah.
Actually, from what I hear, there's typically only one or two bonks a night. It's a fairly
Until
rare
I
occurrence.
show
Yeah,
up,
that's
and
what
then
she says.
that was one of my nicknames in high school. No, but so the booze is, I don't know, it's a la carte. I mean
No. There is
Well, then I'm out.
actual. I mean, yes, you can get booze a la carte. You can go buy some booze.
No, but that's my point. Is that your tickets are just for beer?
No.
Booze is available.
No, you can also
The
get
tickets are for
samples
either
of
a beer drink, you get a beery
a
drink,
whiskey drink, a
or
vodka drink, a lager drink, a cider drink. We don't have any cider, guys. Actually, there might be some behind the bar. I don't know, but no, there will be cocktails that you are able to
sample as part of your
imbibe in.
tickets. Okay.
It's part of your ticket.
Well, thank you for shedding light on that. As many different videos and you did a whole show. I was unclear.
We're not done with all the surprises, guys.
I thought that the liquor was totally buy on your own.
At one time, I think it actually was. But
the way that the festival has
we've figured
evolved.
some stuff out there. There's some other stuff that I really can't go into details about right now, but we've got some other fun cocktail things that we're working on, trying to get it nailed down. Some local celebrity stuff that is going to be cool.
That means that Jangle's going to be mixing up cocktails, so you know that's going to be
Jangle will
amazing.
not-
Or
Jangle-
Dale is dressed up like a celebrity of some sort.
Jingles will not be there at all because it
'Cause he
is
doesn't-
Stout Blowout weekend at March 1st.
Oh. Thank you for shedding more light into the festival. That's fantastic, and I'm glad we can be a conduit for that
Yes.
information. Getting back to your Cincy Brewcast, your rant, I didn't find it
wasn't a
much.
rant.
It wasn't
I
a rant.
edited
It was just
out 37 minutes of the show.
it was a.
It's not a lie.
Okay, to make
So,
make 20 minutes.
Well,
Well, and when you edit out the amount of time that you were probably taking a drink and then
Yes,
and
that's
then
what it was.
came back to the mic, and then how many times you, I don't know, threw in something weird, but I found it very heavy to. Yes, it was the Nine Giant Beer Festival, but it was very heavy in for the 20 minutes. So let's not make it sound like you railed for an hour and 20 minutes. It was a 20-minute episode, but you spent time talking about, hey, the negativity in. I don't even know how you want to preface it,
Well,
well, just in general.
Put it this way, like the way I should have put it out there, and the way I probably wanted to put it out there was that the positivity in beer is still there, and it's still way more important than the other stuff that you see happening around you. So, Nine Giants Beer Festival. I ran into Chad from Narrow Path.
Awesome.
Love that guy. Don't get to see him nearly enough. Do you know when I ran into him? At the very end of the night, when people started packing things up, he showed up just to help them pack shit up. Not his stuff, just everything.
general,
he just showed up to help clean up from their beer festival.
That's awesome.
Like that's the kind of stuff that like you as
don't hear
a beer
about.
drinker don't typically see. He didn't bring his beer stout, which I was a little angry about, but I'll let it slide.
You guys need to have
so
like a sword fight with them.
for
at some
anybody
point.
who is new to the show, and for those of you who have listened to the show before, he's talking about Chad, the owner of Narrow Path Brewing out of Loveland.
Yes.
And
He's got a big rod that he shoves into
Yeah, he does.
people's
Oh my
beers,
God.
and it makes the beer taste like s'mores.
I want to try a
but
hot
Chad-
Hot rod
beer. I
beer.
don't
Yeah.
Chad is an owner and brewer at a pretty small brewery.
A Pico brewery?
No,
Did you
not at all.
Definitely Pico.
No, whole nother conversation, y'all. So Chad showing up just to help break down as a buddy is craft brewer friendship in a nutshell. I mean, Chad
well,
has
a lot of the guys from, I believe it was MadTree, helped clean up when 13 Below flooded their first year that
Oh,
they
yeah.
were
Yes,
open.
they
They
did.
went
It's
down
in a
there.
whole bunch of people.
I don't
Yes.
remember how many other breweries, but I just remember MadTree specifically was mentioned. So if there were more, I'm not trying to say no one else helped. That's just the only one that I was aware of that was mentioned by name. But no, I think like a lot of the episode was, I think you used the word deliberate positivity. Like you need to search out, or I don't even want to say search out, see that silver lining. See
Sometimes
the-
you have
the
to search
good
it out.
things.
Like sometimes you do have to push yourself to find the
Find it-
good
right.
in something, and there is always good in almost everything.
I would agree with that. I tend
Yeah,
to be an optimist.
and-
I tend to be someone that 9 times out of 10 will look for the positive or the good part of whatever may be going on. But I also, at the same time, I don't want to say this is countering that, but I think sometimes, and this is verbatim what I have written down, I think sometimes you need to be honest about the negativity, but depending on the platform that you have with that,
Right.
you have to make it constructive. You can't just say, well, this didn't happen the way it should have happened and that was complete shit. You have to find a way to make it constructive, like this could have gone better. This could have been done in a different way that shed a different light on whatever the situation was.
If you've got X amount of words that you're going to speak in a day, why waste those words on something that is negative or going to harm something else?
Right.
When there is so much other stuff out there that can use positivity behind it.
Right.
Use your words and use your effort and use your energy to boost things that will do good.
Make it actionable. I hate being like, throwing the business words, whatever, but use, even if there is something that is, I don't even know if there's anything that's a 100% negative situation, but
it might be. It might be a terrible situation. There might be an asshole that deserves to have all hell dumped on them for being an asshole. But if I only have X amount of time, X amount of words, X amount of energy in a day, why waste it on trying to give them that hell that they may deserve? It's when there are people that then are missing out on the positivity that I could be putting towards.
Well, and being negative only hurts you. Like, it doesn't, like, if I'm negative about something that you post or you write, it doesn't affect you.
Right.
Well, I mean, you might be like, oh, okay, well, there's one person that doesn't like
just take
one post.
Take that time to find a good post to talk about.
I mean, it affects, I'm only affecting myself by it. So,
Let me put it this way. Sometimes being positive isn't always understood by everybody.
True.
There will be people that look at your positivity and say, well, you should have done it this way, or that wasn't funny, or that's not the way you should.
Or it's naive, which is what I get.
And that's okay. Like, what you're doing. You know that it is a positive thing. You know you're not trashing somebody. It's like when I do an Oktoberfest quest and then go to a beer festival and somebody says, yeah, I saw so-and-so beat us. Well, yeah, I liked it better than I think I made it pretty clear that yours wasn't bad. And not only was it not bad, it still has a chance to come back into the competition, but it's the same
anyway,
thing.
Right. So we are at an hour and 55 minutes right now.
Sounds about right.
I was told to watch the time. I'm watching the time, and it's 7:45. But no, I thought that what your ramblings, as you called them, I thought they were very appropriate's not the right word. I mean, they were, but I do think that, especially with all of the shit that has gone on in the last year and a half, almost 2 years, whatever, stop taking everything as someone said something that could be construed as negative, and see how you can improve what you're doing based on potentially someone else's. And I use the word complain incredibly loosely. I've never heard you complain about, well, I mean, maybe the frosted glasses when you and Marco went to B-Dubs, but that was 100%.
That was deserved.
I don't expect anything else.
But
I mean,
but you also did it constructively. Hey, they shouldn't be serving these beers in frosted glasses. They shouldn't be serving it this cold.
Yes,
you weren't 100% negative about it. It was, this is how this can be improved upon.
Right.
But I do agree that with everything that is terrible these days, find that silver lining, find that positivity, even if you...
It's not worth the effort. It just isn't worth your effort.
The other thing I want to say is, what do you mean putting context terrible? Putting context bad? Putting context anything that you are thinking about negatively reviewing or trashing or just kicking to the curb? Why? What are you doing?
You know why?
I mean, I get it. Like, if you think that there aren't days where I'm a little negative about stuff, like, I am. Like, there's those days where, like, I have a beer and I'm like, man, this beer sucks. Like, this is embarrassing that this is on tap in town right now. I don't put it out there.
Right, but
there's people that I've met that I'm like, man, that guy, that girl, that person, God, they're just an asshole. Like, I wish people knew.
I mean, I know I am.
I wish people knew how much of an asshole that they were. But why? You know, what comes from that? So, like, yeah, we're all negative sometimes, but you know, you suck it up and you move on. You switch to the next thing. You just keep.
And I think it's different when you have a platform of any sort.
I don't think it's any different.
care.
I don't think it's any different
no,
at all.
But I think that there is a slight difference when you're negative and you're putting it out for the world to see versus you're just kind of...
No, I think even within yourself, when you sit down at a bar and you try a beer that isn't great, don't dwell on it. Move past it. Even to the point of, if you really don't like it, pay for it, send it back, whatever you want to do.
Okay, that's fair.
Stop. Like, just don't dwell on the negativity of what that was. Move on to the next thing. There's how many other taps that are sitting up there right next to it that you can move on to. And people, if you're talking to somebody and like, man, this guy's an asshole. So say, hey, it was nice to meet you, and you move on to the next person. And
so, Gnome, it was really great to have you here, but we're going to have to cut this short.
No,
I don't think it matters whether it's a platform or just to yourself or whatever it is. I think that that power of moving on to something that is positive is something that more people should embrace in more parts of their life.
Yeah.
Totally agree, Gnome.
Yeah.
And I just think that's great advice as far as we are going way longer in time than Julie expected.
This is turning into way more serious of a show than it's supposed to be.
It really is.
No,
I mean,
I hope I can wrap it up here by saying, Gnome, but the 20 minutes you talked on your show, we almost talked, 50% longer about it.
Exactly.
But the point is, look, do your part. And I think that's the bigger part, is that do your part. You know, you want to love this this craft beer scene. Mm-hmm. You want to help this craft beer scene. You know, go out, drink, imbibe in your places. Go support your local businesses. And when things aren't right, why don't you talk to somebody that works there rather than just, telling your life's trash out on social media. And so, just think about, just like, MadTree's thinking about, the environment and think about what you're drinking about. You as a drinker, go out, enjoy, and just be courteous.
Right.
That's the thing. Be courteous to your business. Be courteous to the business that you're going to. Understand that those businesses are in strains with, many different facets. Supply chain, workers, all these things. Be patient. Enjoy what you're drinking and love and continue to love Cincinnati craft beer. Other thing is, continue to love everything that is content that the Gnarly Gnome is putting out.
100%. Yeah.
Continue to love everything that all of the Cincinnati craft beer podcasts are putting out.
Even Fretboard TV, which I don't know if it's ever coming back.
I have no idea. New
Fretboard,
social.
if you need a video content creator, shoot me an email.
Okay. Anyways,
Gotta do what I gotta do, man.
yes,
you gotta
do.
pay the bills.
Yes.
Yes, you do. Gnome Creative, hit them up, and thank you for everything you've done for our show. And what I want to say is, for those of you first time, long time, doesn't matter, listeners, thank you. Thank you, Rach. Thank you, Mom.
Thank you to my mom. Thank you, Josh.
We're going to
My wife does not listen. I'm sorry.
But you still thank her, right?
Yeah, when she
Sometimes.
listens.
So get at us at all the social medias and our email. I think Sam Adams is trying to contact us. Julia,
Fun story about that. I was listening to the last episode, and you were saying to hit us up at Truth Beer Pod on the social media, or to Sam Adams, email us at truthbeerandpodsequences@gmail.com.
not the email address.
I created it
messed it all
just
up.
in case.
Oh, it's so
So
good.
it exists now, but please email us at truthbeerpod@gmail.com if you'd like to reach out to us for anything.
All right, Julia. Anything else for the people to reach out to us or anything? I mean, again, thank you to our guest, the Gnarly Gnome.
Of course.
Yes,
Well-
we had beers.
We had lots of beers. and it
Julia,
was wonderful.
anything, and do it, and let's wrap it up.
No, just follow us at Truth Beer Pod. Email us, truthbeerpod@gmail.com. Support all of the podcasts that we talk about. Cincy Brewcast. Follow the Gnarly Gnome on all the pretty much all the social medias.
Pretty much. Even
Pretty much all-
TikTok. I'm on
Even
TikTok.
TikTok.
Yeah.
I still need to get on the
Yeah,
TikToks.
don't
Do it.
it's-
All right, don't do the TikTok, guys. You heard
time
it from the
suck.
gnome. But yeah, follow all the podcasts that we review, and we support them. We want you to support them. This is all about those shows. So if you want to support us, you can do that by supporting them. If they can produce more content for us to talk about, we get to stick around and talk about things for much longer than we probably should.
Drop by BC's Bottle Lodge, buy some beers, have them put them in the cooler for us, or buy a gift card and put Truth Beer Consequences on it, and also leave your own information so we can shout you out and thank you for supporting and sponsoring some of the segments. Other than that, I will, Julia,
Marco,
what are you doing next Tuesday?
I think I'm going to be drinking some beers with you, talking about some podcasts. How about
Sounds
you?
fantastic.
Let's cheers, all three of us.
Cheers. Let's do it.